Hey guys, today's look is perfect for night outs and Valentine's Day, so jumping right onto it, I'm priming my face with the Dr. Brand Pores No More primer and moving straight onto foundation. I'm using my Nars Radiant Longwear foundation. It's my current obsession. It has so much coverage but it feels skin-like, and it's such a beautiful finish and it stays on all day. And it's perfect for all skin tones, so I suggest if you can grab it, I think you should try it. Moving on to concealer, I use my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer to conceal and my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in a lighter shade to highlight. And with my Too Faced Peach Perfect Powder, I use that to bake under my eyes. I did also go ahead and use the same powder all over my face just to set everything since I do have oily skin. Moving on, I use my Benefit Hoola bronzer. I'm using that to bronze, and then later on I did go ahead with a more defined contour brush to contour my cheeks. I use the same powder to also contour my nose, and to contour my nose I'm using the brush that comes in with the Urban Decay Naked palettes. I don't really know how to explain how I contour my nose, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Next, I went in with the same peach powder and I used that to reverse contour, so I'm just baking the areas under where I placed my cheek contour and also around my nose contour. I'm leaving my cheek contour baking on, but I'm dusting off the nose one immediately. For my eyes today, I used the Morphe 35B palette, and starting off with this peachy pinky shade, I'm using that on my crease, and I'm also bringing that down to my inner and outer corner, and every time I'm also elongating it and winging it out just because I like that cat eye effect. Next, I'm mixing in this orange shade with the previous shade and I'm placing it in the same crease and just blending it out. This look is very repetitive. It's just placing the same colors again and again on top of one another to get that beautiful gradient effect. Next, I went in with a brighter pink, and yeah, once again I'm placing that on my crease just a little bit lower this time. I'm not taking it as high up as the peachy shades, and I'm also concentrating a lot of it on my inner and outer corners. Jumping onto the Modern Renaissance palette, I'm taking the shade I believe Love Letter. This shade I'm placing more on my inner and outer corner and blending that out, and with whatever remains on my brush I'm just running that through my crease. Next, I went in with the shade Venetian Red and I also placed it on the same inner and outer corners. And with whatever is left and remaining, just blending that onto my crease. Every time I added a new color, I did blend out the edges, but I just didn't include that clip every time because I felt like it'd get very repetitive and long. Now I'm jumping onto purples and I'm starting to use a pencil brush just to have a more precise application, and I'm concentrating that mainly on my inner and outer corners. Next, I went in with a darker version, and yeah, same old, I am placing it on my inner and outer corners, but I'm really making sure that I work in really small sections instead of like just packing on lots and lots of purple in like a large area and then like struggling to blend. Make sure you keep a blending brush handy during this process because this does have a lot of blending if you want a seamless gradient effect. Next, I went in with this beautiful indigo shade. I wish this color was more pigmented. It does really lack pigment, or at least it's not as true to pan as it looks. So this clip is pretty long itself, but I really had to take my sweet time and just pack it on and blend it out every time, working in small sections like I said earlier. To pack it on, I used the Anastasia brush that comes with all the Anastasia palettes. And I'm using since it's a double-ended brush, I'm using the packing side to pack it on and the blending side to just blend. And going in with my Fit Me Concealer and this precise brush from Real Techniques, I'm carving out the middle part of my eyelid, almost like where your eyeball is if you look exactly straight. I'm pretty sure you've seen halo eyes before. This is just a more crisper cut crease version for a more defined spotlight effect, if that makes sense. So I'm just carving out my crease first and then bringing down the concealer and blending the edges out around the purple shade. I did go ahead and use my fingers to pat it out, and then I also went in with the brush, so just use whatever you're comfortable with. And then I went back in with the pencil brush and just adding some purple to the edges. This look looks very crazy until the very end, until you have lashes on and everything. Next I went in with this very light pink shimmer shade just to put on as the spotlight color, and I put it all over where I put my concealer, and I used my fingers for optimum payoff. And then I went in with this iridescent purple, and I'm just putting that where the purple shade meets the shimmer pink shade, so this is acting as a transition between the two shades. I know it looks crazy right now, but don't worry, I did go ahead and blend it off camera. If I look very bored throughout this entire video, it's because this is my third time filming it. If you're from my Instagram, you know how I've been struggling with my camera. I didn't realize it was in a wrong setting. So yeah, third time was a charm. Next I curled my lashes and just put on a layer of mascara. This is the Essence mascara. I love Essence mascaras. They're so cheap, but they're very good. For the lower lash line, I went ahead and did the same thing. I added dark purples to the two sides, and in the middle I added the Rimmel Nude Liner as the spotlight effect. And then I popped on these beautiful cocoa lashes in the style Amour. And then I brushed off my baking and then popped on some blush. This is, I believe, the shade Unfaithful from the Tarte blush palette from this holiday season. And then using this Farsali Jelly Beam as my highlighter today. Make sure you work in small sections if you have this, because it dries out really quickly. I'm just I'm just adding another layer of highlight, and I'm using my Anastasia So Hollywood Illuminator this time. I also went in with the same highlighter for my inner corner and also my brow bone. The last step was lips, and for today's look I used the Huda Beauty Lip Contour Trial. I used the Spice Girl Lip Liner, and I'm using that to line my lips and contouring it. And to fill them in, I used the liquid lipstick in the shade Venus. It's a very pretty everyday nude combination for me. And yeah, that was pretty much it for the entire tutorial. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please do leave me a like. It really encourages me. Leave me a comment and let me know how much you've liked it and what you'd like to see next. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share it with your friends and family. I'm also available on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm more active there. So if you want to follow me around there, please feel free to, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!